because you applied to be a hitman, like it's just a job that you submit.
Helen falls in love with the hitman, or will she fall in love with her childhood best friend?
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh she, 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 oh she. Hoshi Hoshi Mewtube, I am Stellatrix, coming at you live from a starship near you. Today we will be perceiving how this joke website puts criminals in jail by Wavy Web Surf. This was a video suggested by one of you lovely, wonderful spoobs in my Discord. So if you would like me to react to something you are interested in, I can't promise I'll get to it in a timely manner, but like, I might check it out. Otherwise, leave a comment about it, tell me on Twitch. And let's get into the video. I'm sorry, oh my god. Strap in, strap on, and let's go. Perceive!
The internet's more criminal offerings are generally secluded to the dark web, but then there's a website like Rent-A-Hitman.com. With its slogan, "The dark web is not safe, but we are," this apparent murder-for-hire service website exists on the normal internet. The page
The normal internet. I love the concepts that people have of the dark web, where it's just like this creepy guy in a trench coat,
got something that might interest
a top hat, and he just opens up his coat and is like, "Hey, you wanna buy some pictures? You wanna buy some?" Raccoon's gonna have a fun time censoring this video. I don't know. It's not quite how the dark web works.
features testimonials from alleged customers who have supposedly hired hitmen using the page. And the page's existence becomes even more puzzling when you discover that Rent-A-Hitman has been publicly active and available since 2005.
What?
How have authorities not seized this domain and prosecuted the people behind this apparent contract killing operation?
Or like prosecute, can you prosecute the people that try to hire a hitman? Is that a thing? Can you prosecute people that think this is a legit site and are trying to hire hitmen? Or is that too close to a thought crime since no actual crime was committed?
Well, buckle up, because I'm about to take you all down one of the internet's most darkly intriguing rabbit holes.
I love
It's
dark
the tale
and
of how
intriguing.
one man's joke website ended up catching some of society's most dim-witted would-be killers.
Oh, shoot! All right. There's the answer. There's the answer to the question. Charged with trying to hire a hitman to kill 3 people. Okay.
Arresting dozens and potentially saving over 100 lives in the process. This is the story of Rent-A.
I'm sorry. Getting arrested because you applied to be a hitman, like it's just a job that you submit an application for. Like, can you imagine walking into a store and asking for a hitman job application? Like, what do you mean? It's not funny, but like, it's hilarious. It's how stupid it is.
The legacy of Rent-A-Hitman all begins with the website's creator, California man Bob Innes.
California man.
It's just a lot of
As opposed to Florida man. Florida man is the hitman. California man is the man that hires the hitman.
solicitations from people around the world. And I'm the webmaster of Rent-A-Hitman.com, your point-and-click solution.
Yes, Innes runs Rent-A-Hitman.com.
During Bob's time in university, the man studied risk analysis and computer network security. As a student, part of the man's curriculum involved him being tasked with network penetration assignments. Exercises where one essentially tried to find security exploits and vulnerabilities within computer systems so that they could be fixed in advance.
Oh, white hat
It's called
hacking.
penetration testing. You can think of it as a form of white hat hacking, if you will. Bob had aspirations to become a pro penetrator, and him and a handful of colleagues would attempt to start up a business to do just that. The web
You can see You can see this man trying not to smile while he says that. Look at this man.
It's called penetration testing. You can think of it as a form of white hat hacking, if you will. Bob had aspirations to become a pro penetrator. And him and a handful of colleagues would attempt to start up a business to do just that. The website that Bob purchased and created to advertise his services was none other than Rent-A-Hitman.com. This name, Rent-A-Hitman, was a tongue-in-cheek joke playing off the fact that if hired, Bob was essentially contracted to help customers kill flaws in their own networks.
Oh, yes.
He was a penetration testing hitman, if you will.
Yes.
Unfortunately, though, this Rent-A-Hit
This feels like when your English teacher has you read a passage in a book that says the curtains are blue and asks you what you think it means. And you just say, I think it means that the curtains are blue. The English teacher's like, no, blue from the author signifies depression and serenity. And the fact that his mother never loved him or something. Like, that's such a, that the mental gymnastics are incredibly impressive with that leap in logic. Does that make sense? I feel like that doesn't make sense. Just how you get to rent a hitman. I feel like that's an excuse. I don't know. I don't know if that feels sus to me. Like, this guy knew what he was doing. This guy knew damn well what he was doing.
Hitman business idea never truly came to fruition, and after graduating college, his business partners had moved on. Bob, who had to spend some money on this now seemingly useless domain name, felt like, hey, maybe I could auction it off and get that little bit of cash back. But the man struggled to find any interested buyers, and eventually he got fed up with trying to sell it and simply put up his email address on the front page of Rent-A-Hitman and went his
Libby says, don't forget that all money paid for hits are tax deductible. Don't let the pesky tax man take more than he needs. Thanks, Clippy.
separate ways, completely abandoning the site for some time. But after forsaking this project for some time, something strange began to happen. About 2.5 years of not really interacting with the Rent-A-Hitman.com domain, Bob decides to log into the email address attached to the website. And to the man's surprise, he had actually been contacted. Quite a few times, in fact. Bob had received close to 300 emails during the time away from his comically titled website. But as the man read through these emails, it became clear that not everyone was in on the joke. In these emails, some folks appeared to be genuinely trying to contact this Rent-A-Hitman.com website.
I'm sorry, I'm really distracted by the lava lamp in the back. This purple one. I feel like the inevitable death of every lava lamp I've ever had has been the coalescence. It all returns to Blob. It all returns to hive mind. It all returns to the singularity that is Blob. Which is exactly what happens when you press subscribe and join the starship. I'm so glad to have you here, Spoobs!
In an effort to get people killed. These individuals
Jeez.
operating under the assumption that Rent-A-Hitman.com
You're 100% HIPAA compliant. Hitman Information Privacy and Protection Act of 1964. Is this what people at the height of the 2019 Panini outbreak were referencing when they said that it was a HIPAA violation to tell them to wear masks in public? Because surely they didn't mean the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. That only applies to healthcare providers.
was an actual murder-for-hire website on the normal internet. And upon seeing these emails, Bob was both bewildered and disturbed. I mean, we've all heard tall tales of hitmen being hireable on the dark web, but, you know, for people to be messaging him legit requests like when your site is just on the broad day internet, he couldn't believe it. Granted, many of these hit requests were people trolling, but a small handful of the requests Bob received were serious as a heart attack. And the man—
Honestly, I feel like it's sometimes really hard to tell the difference between somebody trolling and somebody being a child on the internet. They can oftentimes look really similar. So I'm just thinking about the ones that he says were clearly people trolling and wondering, are these just like really screwed up kids that needs some serious help.
And felt a moral obligation to turn these murder-for-hire solicitors over to the police, which segues us
Good
into
Samaritan.
the many people that have been arrested and criminally convicted thanks to Rent-A-Hitman.com and them essentially self-reporting their murderous desires to Bob, believing his website's actually legit. Bob's first murderous page visitor was a woman named Helen Kaplan. Helen Kaplan contacted Bob via Rent-A-Hitman.com in 2010. The woman claimed she was located in Canada and explained in an email how she had been swindled out of her father's inheritance by estranged family members.
It always comes down to
Helen's
inheritance.
email.
This seems like the intro. This seems like the plot to a freaking novel.
Swindled out of her family's inheritance and tries to hire a hitman on the dark web. Somebody has definitely wrote a romance novel about this at some point. Helen falls in love with the hitman, or will she fall in love with her childhood best friend?
It was pretty long and convoluted. I could tell this lady was not healthy.
Yeah,
Let's put it
no
that way.
shit.
The woman continued, stating that she had no money, no place to live, and that she was stranded in Canada with no passport and couldn't get back home to UK. Her life was essentially a mess and she wanted that money back. This disgruntled and apparently isolated woman
my
was
goodness.
soliciting hitman services from Bob's website and sought retaliation against her estranged relatives, wanting them dead so that she could have sole claim to the aforementioned inheritance. Bob found Helen's inquiry particularly disturbing as Helen had provided full legal names and physical addresses of the hit
Well,
targets.
yeah, I
the
guess that
majority
makes
of the
sense.
requests that Bob received on his websites were never this specific. When people got detailed like this, that's when red flags flew. While he was disturbed by this initial email, Bob wouldn't immediately act. It wouldn't be until he received a second follow-up email that the man decided to engage with this would-be hitman solicitor. The second email from Helen was simply titled Urgent. This ominous communication contained additional details about Helen's hit request, as well as corroborating information about her targets. Feeling confident that the woman was genuinely seeking out a hitman, Bob would reply, saying, "Do you still require our services? Would you like me to put you in contact with the field operatives?" Confirming her intent, Helen would simply reply, "Yes."
It was pretty eye-opening. I could
That's
tell. I just had this
terrifying.
instinct that she was serious about what she wanted done.
There was
Yeah.
no doubt
That was-
regarding the woman's interest at this point, and Bob would spring into action, printing out his emails and turning them over to police. Bob took everything he had to local authorities. His findings would make their way to Canadian law enforcement, and an investigation was launched into Helen Kaplan and her Rent-A-Hitman messages. During the course of the investigation of the woman, police found that Helen Kaplan was actually a wanted woman with active warrants out for her arrest in the United Kingdom for various crimes. And after reviewing Bob's evidence, Canadian authorities felt confident that she really was trying to kill her family members. She was
But like, was the inheritance story real or was that actually made up?
taken into custody. The woman spent 126 days incarcerated in Canada before being extradited back to the United Kingdom to face justice. This initial incident with Helen Kaplan made Bob realize that his website could actually be used as a tool to aid law enforcement and stop killers.
Yeah.
And with this in mind, he decided to dedicate more time to the Rent-A-Hitman project. He would redesign the page, check the emails more regularly. Bob even adopted a satirical hitman pseudonym / alter ego, going by the name of Guido Finelli when he
Guido.
communicated with would-be hitman hirers. It's important to note that when designing his website, Bob made a conscious decision to lean into the satirical nature of the page, nestling small jokes and gags throughout its directory. Take, for example, the website's promise of confidentiality by way of HIPAA, the Hitman Information
Yeah.
Privacy and Protection Act, which is an obvious parody of the real-life HIPAA confidentiality agreement within healthcare. These comedic Easter eggs made it glaringly obvious to both law-abiding citizens and law enforcement that the page was a joke and that nobody was actually being hired to kill people here. However, for the less intelligent with murderous intent, these people were often so desperate for contract killing services that they would ignore the flagrant red flags flying all over the site and would go through with contacting Bob under his Guido persona.
This is how a lot of scams work. When you make fun of a scammer for having terrible grammar or English or punctuation or something, or a scam seeming so obvious, It's because you are not the target. They're deliberately trying to target people that don't understand how these things work or are more gullible in this way than other people. So I guess I'm glad to see that same predatory tactic being used for good? Yeah, let's go with that.
And some of these people were trying to kill folks for the pettiest of reasons.
Of course.
Take, for example, Danae Wright. Apparently, this woman had a vendetta against a handful of people in her local community. The woman claimed that she was the subject of mean-spirited gossip and wanted some locals killed. Danae Wright would email Bob's Guido persona and provide him with the names of the individuals that she wanted dead in her community. 3 names were given. Bob was able to identify that these were indeed real people by using Facebook. All of them were residents of the city of Oakley, Kansas. Using Rent-A-Hitman.com, Danae requested that these individuals be taken out by using, quote, guns, bombs, or anything else that was necessary. After receiving confirmation that this was an urgent request, Bob then reached out to the Oakley Police Department, who then forwarded the case to the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. As a result of requesting these killings, Danae Wright was later arrested and eventually found guilty. She was sentenced to serve 34 months of supervised probation after admitting to criminal solicitation to commit murder in the 2nd degree.
The only thing about that is that, I mean, first of all, I feel bad that anybody feels driven to hiring a hitman, because so far the 2 stories we've heard have been people that were in seemingly desperate situations, which doesn't make it okay at all. That does not make it okay, but it does make me feel bad a little bit for them. But probation? Like, I guess she didn't commit a crime, so she can't be incarcerated? But I don't know. I feel like this is a good example of the current justice, quote-unquote, system being a little insufficient, because I don't think forcing this woman who is being bullied to do to do probation is going to fix the thing that made her want to kill people in the first place.
And then there's a guy like Devin Fauber, a man who took to Rent-A-Hitman.com to request the killing of his ex-girlfriend, her parents, and the kidnapping of his ex's child.
What?
In February of 2018, a 20-year-old restaurant worker by the name of Devin Fauber found himself vexed at his ex-girlfriend. They had somewhat recently broken up after a big falling out, and Devin blamed his ex's parents for the disillusion of his relationship. Overcome with anger, Devin Fauber decided that he wanted his ex and her family dead, so he takes to the internet in search of a hitman and discovers Rent-A-Hitman.com. Devin then submitted a request form on the site. He was soliciting the murder of his ex-girlfriend, her mother, and her stepfather, also adding that he wanted his ex-girlfriend's baby kidnapped and taken to Texas so that he could start a new life with the baby and his new girlfriend. Bob, under his Guido alias, would receive this communication and felt that it was a serious inquiry, so he probed the guy a little bit to get more info. Bob says, quote, "This kid was so persistent. Again, I asked the 2 questions. He responded right away, said yes, this is the address. Make sure you get the job done. He was so persistent over the next 10 to 12 days, the guy saying, how come the job's not done yet? I've given you everything you need to know about where they can be found. Remember, don't kill the baby." It was clear as day this dude was really looking for a hitman. Following his normal protocol, Bob...
This one makes me really uncomfy because we've got a baby involved. Oh dear. Oh dear, this one's yucky. I want to know what the girlfriend did. I want to know the full story.
Bob would then report Devin to the authorities, who then launched an investigation and set up a sting operation to try to nail down Devin. This operation involved a sheriff's office investigator posing as a hitman and contacting Devin over the phone. This call was said to have been recorded and reportedly contained Devin confessing to wanting the killings done. It said that in regard to the child kidnapping request, he said, quote, "I could be a really good father to her, but I need those 3 people taken out before I can do anything." In light of this confession, Devin Fauber would be arrested on February 12th of 2018. While in jail, it said that Fauber unwittingly bragged to a police informant, stating that he was only going to get probation from his crime and that when he got out, he would attempt to kidnap his ex's child. This obviously didn't help things when it came to his trial. In March of 2019, Devin was sentenced to serve 20 years in prison with 10 years suspended after pleading guilty to 2 counts of solicitation to commit first-degree murder.
Wait, so like, why did he get so much prison time, but the last woman only got probation? I have to believe that there's more to the story here than just because woman. I don't want to reduce it down to that, even though that does happen, that women often are given lighter sentences for things like this. We don't know anything about these cases, but that is perplexing me. Was it because he bragged about probably only getting probation? Maybe he maybe he saw the case with Danae and was like, that's not gonna happen to me.
Hitman.com's next notable perp was busted after trying to hire a hitman in a way to satisfy his sexual fantasy. In December of 2019, a New Mexico high school student, 18-year-old Colton B.
You know, I don't know why that made it feel so much worse. All of these were terrible. All of these were already terrible. But like, with the addition of, I just want to do it because I'm jorking it, yucky. Yuck, bleh.
Attempted to solicit the services of Rent-A-Hitman.com. In his communications, he requested to have 2 16-year-old girls from his high school strangled to death. Colton would unwittingly fill out 2 forms on this parody website, giving great detail on how he wanted his victims to perish, explaining that he had a sexual fetish for strangulation. Colton sent over his full name, street address, email address, and phone number in his forms, along with the names of his intended targets and their addresses as well. After receiving these disturbing communications, Bob Innes would hand the information over to New Mexico authorities. Colton Beal was later arrested in Manchester, Tennessee, on 2 counts of criminal solicitation. On February 27th of 2020, he was extradited back to Roswell, New Mexico. Colton pled guilty in May of—
Is it extradition when it's within the same country? What dictates if you get extradited back to a different state?
2020 and was sentenced to serve 5 years of probation as a part of a plea deal.
That's
In addition
it?
to the probation, he has to complete counseling, drug and alcohol screenings, and perform 200 hours of community service.
Once again, oh my gosh, the probation isn't gonna fix anything. Oh, it's just gonna make it worse. Oh, that's scary. That's so scary. At least with, like, prison, they're off the street and can't harm anybody. Not that I think that that's a universally good system either. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, I hope those girls get away, far away.
Some turn to Rent-A-Hitman.com to kill ex-lovers. Our next individual actually accused her ex of being a pedophile and wanted him dead. On July 17th of 2020, a 51-year-old South Rockwood, Michigan woman named Wendy Wine completed a form on Rent-A-Hitman.com and was requesting the assassination of her ex-husband. She reportedly claimed that the man was a pedophile and owed her $20,000. At first, it said that
he's a PDF file and also owes her money.
Wendy attempted to use a sort of pseudonym in her communications on Rent-A-Hitman.com, but she would eventually get sloppy and reveal her full name to Bob. The woman expressed that she was surprised that such a grisly service was even available on the normal internet. Quote, "This is kind of weird that your company is not on the deep or dark web." After speaking with Wendy under his Guido persona, Bob then contacted authorities, informing them of her treachery. Police were able to establish a line of communication with Wendy and managed to set up a sting operation with an agent posing as a hitman. This undercover cop met with Wendy Wine in a parking lot in South Rockwood, Michigan, and confirmed the woman's murderous intentions. Shortly after this incident, Wendy was arrested and confessed to her involvement and the communications with Rent-A-Hitman.com. She was charged with solicitation to commit murder and illegal use of a computer to facilitate a crime. In early 2022, a judge would sentence Wendy to serve 7 to 20 years in prison on both counts. The sentences were being served concurrently.
Okay, so we have this woman being sentenced to 20 years in prison. So whoever, if anybody was like, just because woman, she only got probation, there's clearly is more to determining how long these sentences or how harsh the punishment needs to be. However, if her story is true, that breaks my heart. But I'm also not inclined to immediately believe it's true. I have to hope that because they gave her such a hard sentence, that they determined her story wasn't true. Maybe for my own peace of mind, I'm just going to believe that the man was not a PDF file.
Round off our motley crew of idiots that have fallen for this Rent-A-Hitman parody website, I'd like to discuss the story of Josiah Garcia. A man who wasn't trying to hire or rent a hitman, he tried to apply for a fucking job. In 2023, an Air National Guardsman from the state of Tennessee named Josiah Garcia allegedly filled out a request form on Rent-A-Hitman.com. Josiah was 21 years old at the time and was said to have been in desperate need of money to support his family. Curiously though, instead of trying to hire a hitman, Josiah was offering his services as a killer. Apparently Garcia had been scouring the internet for mercenary jobs when he came across Bob's satirical website. Josiah, not detecting the obvious trap, saw Rent-A-Hitman as an employment opportunity. The man allegedly applied on the site to be a contract killer, submitting a resume, in which he described himself as an expert marksman.
I want to know what that cover letter looked like.
And that he had a nickname where people called him the Reaper. Josiah would tell the website administrator that he wanted to get work as soon as possible. Quote, "I'm looking for a job that pays well, related to my military experience, shooting and killing the marked target, so I can support my kid on the way." What?
I guess I don't really know for sure the evolution of things in the military, but he was 21 years old. I get the feeling a 21-year-old wasn't yet a marksman with the title Reaper. I may be totally out of line here, but I just have a sneaking suspicion. Something about this story is a little falsy-walsy.
Can I say? I enjoy doing what I do, so if I can find a job that's similar to it, such as this one, put me in, coach.
Put me in,
posing
coach!
as Guido
Is a wild thing to put on a freaking hitman job application. Come on, Josiah. Really?
continued to pry for information and requested a headshot and photo of Garcia's identification, to which the man reportedly provided. From February 20th to March 13th of 2023, Josiah Garcia allegedly sent multiple follow-up emails to Guido Finelli, aka Bob Ennis. Little did Josiah know, Bob was in touch with the FBI, who had been coordinating with him behind the scenes. Near the end of Bob's communications with Josiah Garcia, he sent the following instructions to the hitman applicant. Josiah, a field coordinator will be in touch in the near future. You will receive a message when they are ready. Timing is based on client needs. An FBI agent would pose as someone involved in the operation and conducted a phone interview with Garcia. According to WKRN, Josiah allegedly told this agent that he was interested in the hitman position because he was in the military and felt that it would be more exciting than civilian law enforcement. Josiah Garcia would later meet with an
Exciting. He thought it would be more exciting, chat. He thought being a hitman would be more exciting than being a civilian police officer. Ah, yes. I too enjoy watching the light leave the eyes of my victims. Are you okay, Josiah? Do you need a hug?
Undercover agent on April 6th of 2023 at a restaurant in Nashville. It's reported that during the meeting, the man continued to demonstrate interest in being a hired killer, and it wasn't long before the ruse of a fake job opening up was deployed. And in this interaction, the man was said to have been offered a fake hitman job by the undercover agent, asking him to meet up with someone associated with the mercenary gig in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Josiah would go to this meeting and was reportedly given photographs and false information about a fake target that the FBI had created. Josiah would allegedly accept the kill request and was then immediately arrested by the FBI. Josiah Garcia has yet to go to trial and is facing up to 10 years in prison if he's convicted of his alleged crimes.
I really want to know the process for criminalizing or the justice process for these people, because he still hasn't been tried. It's been 3 years. How old is this video? Oh, it's from, okay, never mind. This video is 3 years old. But only 10 years in prison? What, I feel like we have a very wide spectrum of potential punishments for all of these people trying to hire hitmen? I'm confused.
Nearly 2 decades after its creation, people are still falling for Bob Innes's Rent-A-Hitman.
Oh my goodness! Oh, the blob. We went from 2 blob to 3 blob. They're blob applying. I'm really invested in these lava lamps.
.com. People are still falling for Bob Innes's Rent-A-Hitman.com creation.
Yeah?
Despite this enigmatic webpage being covered by national
Very
media
enigmatic.
on numerous occasions,
very
and
mysterious.
the overtly satirical nature of the page, some folks out there still find themselves requesting killers through this website on the normal web. Thanks to Bob's diligent work in busting these malicious individuals, it's been estimated that dozens of lives have been saved by his work, in tandem with law enforcement. And I can only imagine that more arrests will be made in the future.
I love that in videos like this, the pictures of even the quote-unquote good guys are always so grainy and pixelated. I know it's because it's been blown up to my 2K monitor size, but it just feels, I guess, nostalgic in a way. I don't know.
If you wish to support Bob Innes and his work, I'll have a link in the description to do so. Well, you've made it to the end. Let me know what you guys thought about the Rent-A-Hitman.com story down below in the comments section, and let me know who or what you want me to talk about next.
I want you to talk about whatever the heck this recording setup is, because it's had me mesmerized the absolute entire time. I want freaking lava lamps. Editor Kun! Editor Kun! Fireheart! Give me several lava lamps. Turn me into a lava lamp. Turn me into a lava lamp and then put me all over the video. Even better, leave random lava lamps Stella Easter eggs. Periodically throughout the video. Just put me in random places. Lava tricks. That was How This Joke website puts criminals in jail by Wavy Webster. If you've got something else you'd like to see me react to, leave a comment about it, tell me on Twitch, or come tell me on Discord. Otherwise, I'm going to go have nightmares about stupid people trying to hire hitmen on the not dark web. Remember, friends, it's never goodbye, it is always good later. Until next time, Space Cowboys! Bye-bye. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na.